Here is our Trigano 340DL Pop-Top Caravan, quite an old one, 2007 I think it is, and it's got a bit of a wrap on the side, you can see, modernise it a little bit. We bought it a few months ago, so we're just getting used to it. Now, today we're going to do a little job on this, and that little job is to fit a pole table. It's got a name, but and so it involves fitting this pole onto the floor of the caravan, and then a tabletop fastens on there. And the exciting bit is you've got to drill a hole of that diameter in the caravan floor. So I've started doing a bit of measuring and so on. Let me show you. See, internally here, this is where the table is going to go. So we have measured and found the center point here where we want the base to go, and it's you can see the screwdrivers pointing to that. We came to that by checking under the caravan for any obstacles as cables, gas pipes, chassis and so on. We did a bit of measurement basically from the window frame here, took a line across, measured it to the end of the awning outside, and then drilled a pilot hole. So after all our essential measurements, we drilled a pilot hole through here. Nice and simple, very carefully, and I've got the skewer so that I can see where it is under the caravan, so just to make sure that we're not hitting anything. So you can see it fits through the hole there. Let's go and have a look outside. So here we are under the caravan. I hope you can see this. There's our skewer, and I think that was the luckiest drilling hole in the universe. 1 millimetre from that aluminium stake coming through. Obviously nowhere near any cables or anything, so that's fine. But what I'm going to have to do obviously is make my large hole slightly further to the back of the caravan. Fortunately it didn't hit the metal, so we're all good. So here we are back inside the caravan, and here's the base plate that's got to set in the floor, measured across here, and I happen to have a drill which I think will do the job. This one is marked as 70 deep, 2 3/4 inches. Anyway, I think that's going to be enough. Now, as you saw outside, this is my hole. This metalwork is right. So if it was ever a case of measure twice and cut once, this is it. Thankfully, I'm going to have to put this here. That's great. I didn't cut a massive piece of my carpet out, so that's top tip number one. don't cut out all the carpet until you're ready for it. And then I need to get the center of this at 38 centimeters to be bang in the middle. So pretty good. That's cool. Right, so that's us ready, and I'm going to just drill the hole now. Okay, moment of truth. So that's us through the subfloor, and we're now just a piece left. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a hole. And it fits. Now there's a bit of slack there, but that's fine because I want to put some mastic. I'm going to put some mastic around this hole here, try and sort it all out. Fortunately, I didn't wreck that. I'll fill that hole with some filler from underneath and above, glue that carpet back down, and we'll be none the wiser. Okay, so that's it. Top tip, don't do this when you're in a hurry. I've got to get to work just in 10 minutes, so I'm going to leave it there, and when I come back this evening, I'm just going to get the next bit done. I'm quite pleased to see that there's no rot here. Right, this is right in the middle of the floor, so that's great. That's where that's going to go. So that's the thing in place, and then the pole just literally sits in there, and the table top will eventually go on top of there. So next step is mastic and sealing and screwing it down. Okay, so just before we put the sealant and everything in there, what I'm actually going to do is cut out the circle of carpet, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually screw this down cut round with Stanley knife. Other brands are available, and then we'll screw this down a couple of times and then we'll cut out. And now we're just going to cut around there, all being well. Is I'm going to use this roof and gutter sealant, which is very messy, and I'm going to put it on there, and very sticky. That's coming, there we go. Now that is messy. So I think it's messy, but it's pretty much around all the top there. I'm sure there are plenty of people who will now tell me how to do it differently and better, but there you go. Now I'm just going to drop this in, and I can feel that it's actually embedded there. That's good news. Now screw the screws back down again. Just put them in first and then tighten them all up. Okay, so I've measured out each side of all four sides and marked it out so you can see the four things there. And now I'm going to use this to try and punch a hole in the top, which is actually very easy. It's soft, so you get the gist. Just making a pilot hole really, and now try and get it in the middle. Gentle push and it just screws in. I could have used a drill, I suppose, but the thing with a drill is I'd be anxious about drilling completely through this 50 quid piece of tabletop. There we are, repeated 6 times. Just going to move this mark off the middle. My marker pen marks, we'll clear them in a minute or two. And now I'm going to fasten this down. Now actually finding screws was quite difficult. Being all over B&Q and everything, so I'm actually going to go with these 12mm 3.5, so going to have a look and see if I can get them to hold this down. What I'm going to also do, as you'll see in a second, is I'm going to put some glue around the edge here before I drop it in place. So dabs of super strong glue around the edges. So these little screws, 12mm, they do fit in the holes and all the rest of it, but I'm not sure that the head isn't going to pull through, and they do feel a bit ropey. So I've got a slightly longer screw here, slightly thicker, but it's 15, the table's 15, it's millimetre, so it's really close. So I'm going to actually just drop a washer on there, try and take a millimetre back out of it, so let's see. Okay, yeah. So 6 screws all in. Wiped off the excess glue, a little bit there, excess glue. I'm pretty confident when that dries, that's going to be solid enough. And quick look, thankfully nothing come through the surface of the tabletop. So now just to fit it. So had a bit of a tidy up now, there we go. So here's a pole, just fits in a hole, and then the table here, the tabletop with the the thing on the bottom. I'll try to do this one-handed. And so the table just fits in, like so. And one of the reasons I wanted this is because when we're eating, we can sit obviously opposite each other, but by swinging it around we get plenty of movement. So that's cool. I have actually used this now. This video is a few days after the other one, and we took the Caravan away. And one of the other things we've discovered is that we could really do with a little place there to drop coffee cups on. So I'm going to make a wee table for there, and I'll show you there. For storage, inside the cupboard here, we've got these fastenings. So the table just slots in. Beautiful. one-handed is not so easy. Then little catch at the top, and then that just stores in the cupboard there, out of the way. And the pole just pops out under the chair somewhere, and then I've got this little plug that just goes in there, just so you don't put your foot down at all. And that is the little table done. Come back in a moment or two and give you a shot at the coffee table, but the main advantage here is just the simplification of this area and also weight saving. The original table, I'll just show you it now. Here we go. This is the original tabletop from the previous owner. It's made of oak or something. It weighs an absolute ton. He was towing the Caravan with a Range Rover, so he wasn't too bothered. I'm towing it with a DS3, so I need to keep the weight down. So anyway, we've replaced that with that fold down mobile table. Yeah, so here we are back. I'm just going to show you this little coffee table that I've rattled up. It's 50 centimeters wide, 30 centimeters deep, and it just hooks on using you know, these clips onto this bar at the back, which the big table was originally connected to. So I just took the fittings from there. It's simple construction, just a thing with a hinged leg, so you can just pop it off and shove it under the bed or something whenever it's needed. But that just gives it a little bit of extra space to stick coffee cups and stuff on. So there you go. I hope you found that helpful, fitting the pedestal table inside the Trigano 340 TDL, I think it is, and the little coffee table. In later videos I'll give you a tour around different components of the Trigano. So if there's anything you'd like to see about this model, there wasn't very many videos on YouTube when we were looking ourselves, and just drop a comment below the video and I'll be happy to fit that out. Just one kind of last thing just to say, one of the things I've realised, having used that pedestal table for a week or so, we had a weekend away, is that the core, the floor itself is made of kind of fibrous flooring. I'm not sure the screws are going to hold in there long term. So I mean, stable enough, but I think long term they'll probably just pull out of that foam. So what I'm going to do is use some machine screws, drill straight through the floor, drop them in, and then put a plate underneath, or some washers or something, and just tighten the whole thing down on at least 4 of the kind of 6 spaces that's there. So that's the only other thing. Other than that, everything else is working well. Next projects, I've got to do something about the bed. The original style of this Caravan, I can show you a picture here, had the big table drop down to be the bed base. But in our case, obviously, that is the big table's gone, so we haven't got that. So I've got to come up with some other kind of solution for making this into a double bed, and I'll come back to that. The other thing that we've done in this Caravan, even in the month or so that we've had it, I've done some changes to the lighting, the 12 volts and the mains electrics, wiring and so on. So I'll come back with kind of project updates on some of that. I've also stripped down and completely refurbished the cooker hob. So again, that's quite interesting, and well, I'll let you be the judge of that, but I'll put that on. So if you found this helpful, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, press the ding if you'd like to have more videos about Trigano Caravan in the future. Until next time, thanks for watching, I really appreciate it.